Okay, my lovely students, what is today? Thank you. Today is Tuesday. What is the date? Yes?
The 26th of
Excellent. The 26th of October, 2021. What is the title of our unit? Different lives. Excellent. Today, inshallah, we are going to start with our lesson 2. But before that, I want to make a short revision for what we took, okay? Look at the exercise number 2. Listen and play the game. What's the squirrel doing? So please, my lovely students, listen carefully and have fun.
In picture 3.
Now look at the picture number 3, okay? Look at the picture number 3.
Is the squirrel running into the tree?
Is the squirrel running into the tree?
yes.
Raise your hand before you answer, please.
Yes.
Yes, it is. Excellent.
Yes, it is. In picture
Number 10, okay?
running through the log.
Is the squirrel running through the log? No, it isn't. Excellent. What's the squirrel doing? What is the squirrel doing? Excellent. The squirrel is jumping over the log.
No, it isn't. It's jumping over the log.
Now you.
Now you. 1. In picture 1, is the squirrel running round the tree?
Look at the picture number 1. Is the squirrel running around the tree? Yes, it is. Excellent.
2. In picture 7,
Now,
Yes.
my lovely students, look at the picture number 7, okay?
the squirrel running up the tree.
Is the squirrel running up the tree, Fatma? No, it isn't. Excellent. What is the squirrel doing? Excellent. The squirrel is running down the tree.
3. In picture 9, is the squirrel jumping onto the log?
Now look at the picture number 9. Is the squirrel jumping onto the log?
Yes, it is.
Look at the picture number 9. Is this yes, is the squirrel jumping onto the log?
No.
Yes. Excellent. What is the squirrel doing? What is the squirrel doing? Excellent. The squirrel is jumping off the log.
4. In picture 2,
Now look at the picture number 2, okay?
is the squirrel running across the road?
Is the squirrel running across the road, Lean? Yes, it is. Excellent.
5. In picture 5,
Now, my lovely students, look at the picture number 5, okay?
Okay.
is the squirrel jumping over the log?
Yes? No, it isn't. Excellent. What is the squirrel doing? Excellent. The squirrel is running through the log. Bravo, Alek. Good job. Good job. Okay, now let's go to our lesson 2. Look at the first exercise, my lovely students. Look at the title and the pictures, then answer the questions. So look at the title of the lesson. What is the title of our lesson, students? Yes, dear. Yes, go ahead. Pauper, excellent. The prince and the pauper. Okay, who wants to describe the prince? Who's the prince? Who's the prince? Okay, but can you describe the prince? Who's the prince? He has an old clothes. He lives in a small house. Excellent. He lives in a big house. He's poor. He's rich, right? Excellent. He has a beautiful clothes, right? He has a new clothes, a modern clothes, right? Okay. The prince is the son of the king, right? Now look at the pauper. Who's the pauper? Who wants to describe the pauper?
Loves the small.
Yes, he lives in a small house. He's rich? No, he's poor, right? He's poor. He has an old clothes, right? Okay, now look at the pictures, my lovely students. We have two pictures. What do you see? What do you see? What do you see? Yes. Yes, the prince and the boba. Excellent. How do you know? How do you know that he is the prince and he's the boba? How do you know? Excellent. Excellent. Bravo عليك. Yes. What do you see? Queen. Excellent.
I see horse.
Horse. Bravo. Friends. How do you know? Yes, because of his clothes, right? He has a new clothes, a beautiful clothes, right? Okay, now, my lovely students, let's go back to the exercise number 1. Who's the prince and who's the pauper? Look at the picture number 1. Who's the prince and who's the pauper? Yes.
Prince.
Excellent. The prince is on the right, right? And the pauper is on the left, right? Bravo. Excellent. Okay, now look at exercise number 2. Who's poor and lives in a house? The prince or the pauper? Excellent. And number 3, who's rich and lives in a castle? The prince and the pauper?
Prince.
Excellent. Excellent. Bravo, Alex. Okay, my lovely students, let's write down the answers. Isn't who's the prince and who's the pauper? The boy. Okay. صح صح صح. Yes, صح. I'm sorry for you, dear. The boy on the right is the prince. And the boy on the left is the pauper. Okay. Number two, lives in a house? The pauper. And who's rich and lives in a castle? For sure, the prince. Okay, my lovely students, I'll give you 2 minutes at least, okay? Yes. Okay, now, my lovely students, please look at exercise number 3. At the theme in the story. Before we answer this exercise, we want to listen carefully to the text, okay, in order to answer this question. Yes, listen carefully and have fun.
The Prince and the Pauper. Adapted from a story by Mark Twain. Once upon a time, there was a prince, Edward, who lived in a castle. One day, Edward saw a poor boy called Tom. "Come into the castle and play with me," he said. "What's it like to be a prince?" asked Tom. "I've got an idea," said Edward. The boys decided to swap clothes. "You look like me now," said Edward. "And you look like me," said Tom. The boys were hungry, so Edward went to find some food. He forgot that he had Tom's clothes on. An angry servant pushed Edward out of the castle. Stop! I'm the prince, said Edward. But the servant just laughed. Tom waited and waited. Where's Edward? He thought. He walked round the castle. He went up and down the stairs. He walked through the halls and across the huge rooms, but he couldn't find his new friend. Tom was very tired. He returned to Edward's bedroom, got into the huge bed, and went to sleep. In the morning, a servant walked through the door. Good morning, Prince Edward, said the servant. Here are your clothes. The clothes were beautiful, but they weren't very comfortable. Where is Edward? Thought Tom. Outside the castle, Edward had a terrible night. In the morning, he went to the castle. Tom was very happy to see him. Prince Edward, said Tom. What? You are Prince Edward? The servant said to Tom. At that moment, the Queen came into the castle. Edward, what are you doing in those old clothes? She asked. Sorry, Mum, apologized Edward. We were playing a game, Your Majesty, said Tom. Everyone was very surprised. Then they all laughed. After that, Edward and Tom became very good friends.
Okay, now, my students, I want to read. After that, I want to choose randomly, okay? Yes, listen carefully. Prince and the pauper. Once upon a time, there was a prince called Edward. He lived in a castle, but he didn't have any friends. One day, Edward saw a poor boy called Tom. Come into the castle and play with me, he said. What is it like to be a prince? Asked Tom. I've got an idea, said Edward. The boys decided to swap clothes. You look like me now, said Edward. And you look like me now, said Tom. The boys were hungry, so Edward went to find some food. He forgot that he had Tom's clothes on. An angry servant, come here. An angry servant pushed Edward out of the castle. Stop! I'm the prince, said Edward, but the servant just laughed. Tom waited and waited. Where's Edward? He thought. He walked round the castle. He went up and down the stairs. He walked through the halls and across the huge rooms, but he couldn't find his new friend. Tom was very tired. He returned to Edward's bedroom, got into the huge bed, and went to sleep. In the morning, a servant walked through the door. Good morning, Prince Edward, said the servant. Here are your clothes. The clothes were beautiful, but they weren't very comfortable. They weren't very comfortable. Where's Edward? Thought Tom. Outside the castle, Edward had a terrible night. In the morning, he went back to the castle. Tom was very happy to see him. Prince Edward, said Tom. What? You are Prince Edward, the servant said to Tom. At that moment, the queen came into the castle. Edward, what are you doing in these old clothes? She asked. Sorry, Mom, apologized Edward. We were playing a game, Your Majesty, said Tom. Everyone was very surprised. Then they all laughed. After that, Edward and Tom became very good friends. The story is very interesting, right? Okay, who will be the narrator? Who will be the narrator? You? Okay, go ahead. Who will be the prince? Read. Who will be the prince? Prince, go ahead. Who will be Tom? The pauper? Yes. Who will be the servant? You are. Go ahead. Who will be the queen? No, don't call me miss. Go ahead. Yes, keep silent. Yes, start. Who's the narrator? Rawi. Yes, go ahead. Yes. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Who's Edward? You. Who's Prince? Sorry, Edward the Prince, right? Who's Tom the Boba? You. Okay, you are queen or servant? Queen, the servant? Yes. Go ahead, dear. No, from here. From here. Yes. Once upon a time,
there was a prince
called Edward.
called Edward. He lived in a
Castle.
castle,
Be silent, okay?
but that didn't have
Didn't have any.
any
Start spell.
friends.
Students, start spell, okay?
One day,
Edward.
saw a
A poor
boy
called
called Tom.
Tom.
Come into the castle
Be silent.
castle and play with me.
With me.
With me. He said, "What's it like to be a prince?" asked Tom.
Ask
Asked
John.
Tom. "I've got an
Idea.
said
Said Edward.
Water. You
The
The
boys.
boys decided to stop.
The boys
The boys.
decided.
The boys.
We pronounce C as because there's I after C, right?
Decided
Decided.
to
Swap
swap
clothes.
clothes.
Excellent. We must continue, please. Yes, Edward.
You look like me now. Said Edward.
Said Edward.
And you like me now,
I look like me now.
said Tom. The boys were hungry, so Edward went to find some food.
He
He forgot
forgot
what
that
he had Tom's clothes on an
an
angry
angry
servant
pushed
pushed Edward out
out of
of the
castle. Excellent. Continue, please. Quickly. Yes, Edward.
Stop! I am the prince, said Edward. But
The servant
the servant got
just
trot
laughed.
laughed. Tom
Waited
weren't
and waited in the British accent.
Waited.
Okay. Where is Edward?
Where's Edward? He
Thought
thought
he walked
he walked round
round
the
the castle.
castle.
Excellent. Continue, please. He yes, here.
He went up and
Down
the stairs.
stairs. Dear, look at the board. Look at the board. Yes, continue, please. Continue, please. He walked
He walked through the halls and
halls and
across
yes,
the
huge rooms. Excellent. Yes, continue, please. Yes. But here.
But he
Couldn't. Yes, in British accent if you want.
Find
His
went
new friends.
friend.
Yes, excellent.
Tom.
Come here to continue, please. Yes, quickly. Yes.
Tom was very
Tired.
tired. He returned to
Returned.
returned to Edward's bedroom.
Yes.
Got into the huge bed and went to sleep. In the morning, the
A servant.
servant walked
Walked.
through the door. Good
No,
morning.
no. Where's the servant? Yes.
Good morning, Prince
Yeah.
Edward said the
Yes. Good morning, Prince Edward. Continue, please.
when
Said the servant.
the servant
Said the servant.
said the
The servant.
servant.
Yes. Continue.
Here are your clothes back.
That's it.
The clothes
The
clothes were beautiful, but they weren't very
comfortable.
comfortable. Where is Edward? Thought Tom.
Yes, excellent. Lean, continue, please. Yes. I have no idea. Continue, please. I have no idea. Continue. Speak up. Outside
the
castle. Be silent.
castle, Edward
Edward, yeah.
had a
Terrible. Night. GH silent, so night.
night.
And try
In
to spell,
in
dear.
the-
Try to spell.
the morning, he went back to the
Castle.
castle.
Jude, continue, please. Yes, quickly. Go ahead. Can I? Go. Yes, excellent. Go ahead. Yes, continue, Jude. In the morning.
In the morning,
When?
he went
He went back.
to
Students, don't be shy. Try to spell, okay? Try to spell. Back to the
the
castle.
castle. Tom
Yes.
was very
Happy.
happy to see him.
Where's Tom? Yes.
Prince Edward.
Okay, students, tomorrow, inshallah, I want to choose, students, tomorrow, inshallah, I want to choose randomly. So please prepare, okay? Prepare. Yes. Try to understand.